Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Turley, and I'll be teaching many different lab classes this year. It's been really great to meet all your students, and I look forward to getting to know you better throughout the school year. I wanted to take an opportunity and just go over a quick couple of things that'd be important to know about my class. So we have a couple slides here that I'll go through. If you see my head to the side, that's just because I'm using a monitor and not facing directly at the camera. So who am I? I moved here to Washington about a year ago. I moved from Vermont, well, kind of by the way of Colorado. I was in Vermont for a long time. We moved to Colorado just for a couple months before moving out here. But we have fallen in love with Washington and Northwest, and we do plan to make this our home. So this will be my 8th year teaching students with disabilities. I have taught in a wide range of settings, anything from a traditional classroom, such as here at Mercer Island, to teaching in places like mechanic shops. I've also taught a wide range of skills in all those different places. When I'm not teaching, I really love to travel and to play outside. So a big question that I get asked often is, well, what is a lab class? Simply put, a lab class is an opportunity for students to work on IEP skill development. That's going to be specific to the student. It's going to be different for everyone. And so will be the practices I use, the materials I use, the strategies I use and teach your students. Those will all depend on exactly what skills your students are working on. It can look a whole variety of ways, as I kind of gave a prelude to, of like just the settings of where these classes can happen. It could be a whole class, it could be a small class, it could be a small group, it could be a bunch of stations, it could be students talking to each other, it could be them working on a project. Really, the options are limitless as far as what it could look like. However, through all those activities, the whole goal is still the same. They will be working on their IEP goals. What I would like to spend a little bit more time talking to you about is the grading this year. This year, I will be shifting to a standards-based grading system. Rather than the traditional A, B, C, D grades, your student will get between a 1 and a 4. And really, the whole point of making this shift is to change the purpose of grading. A grade is really communicating the level of skill a student has. And that's what I want the focus to be. I want the focus of grades to communicate to you and to your student where their skills are. It's supposed to be a record of their progress, of how they are growing. And it should inform me of the strategies that I might need to adapt or change based on how they do. When I give a grade, it is never for a punishment for doing something wrong in my class or not paying attention. And it also is not a reward. Rather, it is just a communication of where their skill is. This year, I will be basing their grades heavily upon their progress in their IEP goals. If the purpose of the lab class is for them to work on IEP skills, then that is the data that I need to communicate to them and to you of how they are doing. So I will be giving grades on how they're progressing on their IEP goals on the standards-based rating. So here's my scale. It goes from 1 to 4, and you can see it's kind of dark black, but 3 is the goal. If a student gets a 3, that means they've met their IEP goal. Now in gray here, we have NE. The code NE stands for not enough evidence. That means I don't have enough pieces of evidence to give your student a communication of where their skills are. I can't say. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to try and strive to get more evidence. It's just at that moment, I can't say yet. The first level of communication is a 1. That is their IEP baseline, where their new IEP starts, towards 25% progress towards their goal. When they cross that 25% threshold, they move into a 1.5. So anywhere between 25% and 50% progress towards their IEP goal is a 1.5. Once they cross the halfway mark, they will get a 2. A 2 represents 50% to 75% progress towards their goal. And a 2.5 represents 75% to 99% progress towards their goal. And just as I've been talking with your students about, like in football, even though the ball might be on the 1-yard line, the referees aren't going to give those Seahawks a free touchdown. They've got to go all the way. When a student has shown that they have achieved their goal, they will have a 3 as that communication. And every now and then, we have students who go through huge growth spurts and they exceed their IEP goals. As you well know, if a 3 or 4 does happen during the school year, we will meet as a team and we will set them a new goal and we will start the whole process all over again. And I just want to remind, grades are not a punishment, they're not a reward, they're simply communicating where your student is at with developing their skill. Now, with this year being online, knowing how to navigate the online environment is crucial. I want to take a minute just to go over some important places in Schoology. I'm going to use my period 2 class as a demonstration. However, I set up all my Schoology pages similarly, so you can still find your students' information. If you've not been to Schoology before, please go to our district website to find information how to set up your parent account. When you set up your parent account, you want to go to courses up here in the top, and you'll click courses, and you'll select a course you wish your student to look at your student's information for. Like I said, I'm going to choose period 2 for my demonstration. It takes you to the landing page, or where it's called the materials page. You can see we have the Zoom link here and the Office link all set to go for your student to have easy access. And down below, you have folders. We were just talking about grading. In this purple folder, you will find all materials related to the scales I use to grade their assignments, their IEP's grade scale, and also this habit of learning. The habits of learning are how students use technology, how they they participate in the class, how they organize their work, and how they advocate for themselves. Sorry, my mind just blanked on me there for a minute. And those will receive a score as well. The habits of learning does not calculate into their grade. However, it is a communication of what their acts are like within the classroom. Back to the materials page. You will notice over on the left-hand side, there's a navigation bar that you can use to easily navigate from one section to the next. When you open up a week of folder, you will find all the assignments in the folder. These are assignments that your student can see and learn more detail about. So with the weekly assignment, weekly planner on iPad home screen, this is unique to period 2. When they open it up, they will have specific instructions for this assignment. This is where you will find specific detailed instructions on what to do, any links they need to have, and also where they will submit it. For a quick overview of the course, please go to Updates. This is where I post the week at a glance. The week at a glance is indicated by this black alert symbol that is used for the students to easily find these. If they're using the white background Schoology app but cannot see the symbol, I encourage them to use the maroon background Schoology app on their iPad so they can see the symbol. The week at a glance is linked right here, and it'll open up. This is really meant to be at a glance. This is to give the bare bones of what are we doing this week and where can students find that information. You will see there are gray and there are white rows. The gray rows represents work that we will do while in a Zoom meeting together. The white rows represent work that they're expected to do on their own away from the Zoom meetings. And you will see it is very simple titles of what the activities are. To find the details, you need to go to Schoology, to Materials, and click on the corresponding week of folder. So for that WAG, it was the week of September 14th through 18th. You would click on September 14th through 18th folder and click on this specific assignment, and you will find the information. If you have questions about where to find that, please let me know. And in general, when you have a question, the best way to get a hold of me is through my email, benjamin.turley@mercerislandschools.org. I hope this answered several of the questions you may have about lab classes this year. I look forward to seeing your students in class every day that I have them and getting to know them better and better. I hope you all have a great year.